guys? Man, my week got super busy. I meant to get a couple videos out. I wanted to do my video on scanning and I wanted to talk about this ship, and work just pile drived me into the ground, man. And so I'm just not getting around to this little video. If you hear a little white noise or whatever, it's because I have a metal roof on my house and it's raining, so might sound a little fuzzy, but that's just the sound of liquid sunshine. So the Railen, I picked one up. I did. I picked it up and I feel good about that purchase. I know that some people love it. Some people think it's cool looking, but they're not really sold on the external cargo. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, why I purchased it. It's not going to be a video where we really go into too much technicals on the ship. For one, it's a concept and things change. Usually if I go in too hard on concepts, the information ends up being outdated later. And so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to keep it around like why I bought it. A little less technical and a more just personal, why me, myself, decided that it was one that I wanted to have in my fleet. There's no point in really beating around the bush too much. I want to be straight honest with you guys. About 50% of the reason that I bought it was cool factor. I just thought it was really cool. It really spoke to me. I really like the design, and I know that's very much just buying into marketing there. I get that. Yeah, it's fair enough criticism. I mean, let's be real here. Look at that stance. Look at the stance of that ship when it's landed. Man, that's awesome. And the way the lift just goes up through the entirety of the ship at an angle. It's beautiful. I also love the living space. I thought the living space in this ship looked very pleasing. You know, it looked like a ship you could spend time out in, diverse in it, and really enjoy the environment inside the ship. Enjoy what you were looking at and interacting with in terms of how the seats come apart. How we saw in the video, how the seats are going to float apart in Gravlev technology, and you'd sit down and it'd carry you back up and the seat would kind of piece itself back together. I mean, come on, bruh. The other 50% of the reason that I got the ship was because of the multi-crew implications of this ship. I see this ship as a ship that conceptually will be a great multi-role ship. It looks like it's going to be a really fun ship to take a few friends out for the weekend, earn a little bit of cash, and just role play being a crew, role play being out in a verse in an alien ship, just everybody doing their part, having a good time. I mean, a 4-man crew, just really enjoying the weekend. That's the way I see the ship, and that's really the major selling factor to me. So let's look at the way I imagine that in my head. For one, like I mentioned, you have the great living space. So it's going to be a nice ship to spend your time in, but it's got pretty good defenses in terms of what people can do if it gets in trouble. You're talking about 2 size 4s per turret. That's like the firepower of a Talon on each turret. And if you think about it that way, we know how much damage the Talon is doing out there. So having basically 2 Talons worth of DPS on the ship is pretty significant. It's going to have a spot for the missile operator mode. You know, you got to get up there in the co-pilot ship, make use of the missile operator mode, and we got a really nice missile loadout on this ship. I could see this ship even running some missions together as a multi-crew, not even hauling cargo. Like, there's going to be plenty of missions you'll be able to do as a group with this ship. So it'll be able to step out of its role as a cargo holder a little bit. Now, it's not going to be a great combat ship because it's not going to have maneuverability, I'm sure. But when it comes to dumb NPCs or even semi-intelligent NPCs, we'll see how well they get improved with quantum and all that. You should be able to go out in a group, run a few missions, go pick up a load of cargo, bring it through the jump gate, take it to another system, sell it, and do that all weekend long as a group. Have a good time. Split the money. It looks like it's going to be capable of doing a little more than just cargo hauling, even though that's not really its intended use. When it comes to utility, this is what's important to me. When it comes to utility, it's going to have a tractor beam. So you're going to have a tractor beam operator. Multi-crew is going to be fun with tractor beams. I really believe that. I think a lot of the tractor beams are being ships with tractor beams, they're being overlooked. They're being passed over by cargo haulers right now that want to focus too much on SCU space, and they think very one-dimensionally, and they're not really thinking into the future or outside of the box at all. For example, the Star Lifter is a very one-dimensional hauler. It it was built with cargo hauling as an afterthought, right? Whereas the Railen and the Caterpillar, for example, are built with cargo hauling in mind. So you got access to the external pods on the Railen, and you got the easy doors access on the Caterpillar, and you have dedicated tractor beam usage. Now, in 0G, when you're going to be wanting to use that tractor beam and get ships loaded and get out of there, get ships offloaded and out of there, man, there's going to be a lot of people wishing they had a tractor beam on their C2 at some point. And I think that that's one thing that really makes this ship shine, being able to use a tractor beam, have a tractor beam operator on board for multi-crew play, as well as for the utility of it and how valuable that's going to be in the future. So that was really it. Being able to get out there, have somebody on tractor beam, have somebody running missile operator mode, have people in the turrets, just going out there as a group. I see this as a group ship, a really nice group ship. Fly it by yourself as a defenseless hauler, or get some blades or some NPCs. I mean, if that's really what you want to do in life. But I think there's other ships that are better for the solo setup, if that's what you want to do. If you want to run around solo, I don't think this ship's going to be the best solo setup. But when it comes to multi-crew, that's where this really shines. And I bought this because right now, in my little org that I've got, we're really trying to focus on multi-crewing. And I think that a ship like this is going to be very valuable for that aspect of gameplay, where we can get out there together and have a good time with a ship. It's not a hard ship to fill with such a low crew complement, and it's going to be a pleasant ship to be in. On the technical side of a ship, I mean, it's nothing to scoff at. I mean, I'm sure the ship's not going to have anything for armor, but we're talking about a large shield emitter with 2 large shield generators. The shields on this thing are going to be beefy. Now that's not to mean it's going to be some kind of battle hardened ship, but it gives you enough tank to get out of there, unless somebody can really lock you down with some kind of quantum entrapment. You're just going to be able to tank it long enough to get away. And that's what's really nice about this ship. And people say, well, the external cargo, but that's going to be within your shields. And we're not sure exactly how the external cargo thing's going to go. It could be a blessing in disguise. A lot of people want to avoid the external cargo, and I understand that, because when I see the whole series, I see a loot pinata, and I understand exactly where people are coming from on that. But at the same time, depending on how external cargo works. Now, they say these pods aren't going to just come off. They're going to be loaded into the pods. Okay, that's going to be... I can't wait to see how that works whenever they physicalize everything. But say your shields fail. Somebody's in your blind spot. They're shooting at you. You got your cargo on your back. The rounds are going to hit that cargo first. That's not your life. That's not your components. If by chance that stuff starts to break off, which I don't know if that's how that's going to work, but if your cargo pods start to leak loot or fall off with loot in them, it's kind of like a lizard's tail breaking off, right? There's probably going to be a lot of people that will stop to pick up what fell off of you instead of trying to pursue and go the hard route to try to capitalize on everything. Now, a group of pirates, that might not be the case, but a solo or duo pirate group shoots you a little bit, stuff starts leaking out, breaking off, they're liable to start picking that up, and you can get off the rest of your way. I'm not saying that that's the way it's going to go, but conceptually, there's no reason why we can't theorize that that's a possibility. And if that's the case, it might save your life in the future if your cargo breaks off. Or if you can jettison your cargo, that's another thing. If you can jettison the stuff out of the pods, or even jettison some of the stuff out of the pods, you might be able to use it in the same capacity, like a lizard's tail breaking off. You can get away. You can grow another tail, go load up more cargo. But you still have your ship. You don't have the cost of a claim. You don't have the weight of a claim. Not saying that's, like, again, that's just theory crafting now. We don't know how that external cargo gameplay is going to play out, but I'm not scared of it. I know some people don't want external cargo. They're going to fly an internal cargo ship, but I have a Banu merchantman, so I'm not worried about if I need internal cargo or not. 320 SCU is a pretty significant amount of SCU. And if you look right now, this week, the ship, it's only $50, I think, to go from a Taurus to this. Now, I know the Taurus is about to be flyable, so people are pretty excited about that. And this is going to be a little ways out. But say you have a Taurus, right? You just pick up the CCU for this thing and sit on the CCU. Just leave it in your hangar and don't apply it. You got the Taurus, it comes out. You got the new ship for this patch. You fly the Taurus around. You have a good time with it. When this ship drops, you apply your CCU and you have the Railen. $50 freaking dollars. I mean, that seems pretty sweet if you ask me. And if you don't like it better, you just don't apply the CCU. Right? Or you apply the CCU, then you decide you don't like it, you just melt the whole thing and then pull your Taurus right back out of buyback with your buyback token. So it seems like to me it's a no-brainer CCU to pick up and keep in your hangar if you have a Taurus. I don't know. Something to think about, but that's why I got it. Cool factor, multi-crew, that's really it. And tractor beam. That's really 3 factors. Tractor beam, multi-crew, and cool factor, which is good enough for me. Good enough for me. I don't know. You tell me in the comments, is that good enough for you? Or you think, no, I'm not going to do it.